Good afternoon, sir.
Please take this.
Thank you.
You are a product of IIC.
Yes, sir.
One of the most prestigious institute.
Yeah.
So without being a scientist, and you have also published a paper.
Yeah, I published 3 papers actually.
So why do you come to
So
this?
actually, till 2021, I was doing active research, but post that my vision declined significantly because of cataract and some retinal issues. And like it was unsustainable to continue doing that research because there I have to sit like 15-20 hours per day. I have to use computers, do modeling, use like supercomputers and all. So it become quite difficult. And I felt like my vision declined 15-20% in 3-4 years of doing research. I had to shift the career.
Oh, I see.
So
you got that Kishore.
KBPY, Kishore Vaigyanik
Prashan.
yeah.
That's a very good. It's a tremendous career. And then economics you have taken.
Yeah, because
how did you have any economics subject?
no, like in second semester, they taught us some economics, and from then, like next to biology, I had my next favorite subject was economics. So, like when I wanted to shift to civil services, then because biology as itself is not an optional here, so I thought why not learn.
Biology is not optional here.
Botany and zoology is here, but the biology they teach in our university is mostly research oriented, not not how the botany zoology is asked in the exam. So then I thought, why not learn a new subject if I am already investing some time here? So I took economics. Now I am doing masters in economics.
Masters in economics.
Who Kurcho, masters?
No, just from this IGNOU.
What is the law of diminishing return?
Law of diminishing returns states that once a production has reached a certain limit, then more amount of capital being invested will generate diminishing amount of output proportion to the capital being invested.
What is a Philip curve?
Philip curve is it shows the relationship between inflation and unemployment.
How the graph like?
Graph is like a concave shaped graph where in the inflation is in the y-axis and unemployment is the x-axis.
That means the more the inflation, more the employment. Inflation leads to employment.
Yes, Phillips curve says that like it's more inflation is there, more employment can happen.
But it leads to economic, because that's why we are concerned that in our monetary policy committee always guards the inflation actually.
Yes, sir.
So if you, so it is not a contradiction.
Yes, sir. Inflation is good. Inflation is good for an economy like India, which is developing economy. But inflation has to be in a range bound. It has to be like 2 to 4% or 4 to 6%. This range bound. Then only the economy grows. But inflation goes beyond that limit, then it becomes a concern for the living standards because the wage rate may not rise at the same rate, and the real wage for the workers fall.
So, okay. What is multidimensional poverty actually?
Multidimensional poverty is introduced by UNDP, which takes into consideration health, education, and living standards as 3 parameters of defining a person's poverty level.
What is the IMF's mandate actually? IMF's mandate.
Mandate regarding?
IMF mandate.
IMF's mandate is to see economic stability of its members. When a member goes through debt crisis or goes through the economic instability, then IMF provides loans and credit facilities to get the country out of.
Is it a soft loan or a hard loan?
It mostly has a soft loan.
But it imposes certain conditionalities.
Yes.
So sometimes it is detrimental to the interest of the loaning country actually.
Yes, sir.
Do you agree or disagree actually?
I like somewhat agree because IMF tries to make the economy more sustainable and tries to reduce the fiscal expenses and do fiscal consolidation. But in that process, it does not, sometimes may not take care the particular issues or challenges the country is facing. Suppose if the country is a poor country and it needs welfare measures, and if IMF says you have to do fiscal consolidation and reduce subsidies, increase taxes, then that may hamper the welfare state, which is.
What is the difference? Last question from my side between fiscal deficit and budget deficit.
Fiscal deficit is the difference between the revenue and expenditure of a government. Budget deficit is when the
budget expenditure receipt difference is budget deficit.
Budget deficit.
Then fiscal deficit.
Fiscal deficit is total amount. So budget deficit is expenditure minus revenue. What budget deficit is, fiscal deficit is total revenue collected minus the
revenue including not revenue, but is it trade deficit plus?
Trade deficit.
Fiscal deficit is a measure of combination of certain factors.
Fiscal deficit.
Fiscal deficit. Trade deficit plus.
No, not
The
trade.
external borrowing.
Trade
then
deficit is current account
then,
deficit.
And the current account is the fiscal deficit. There is a slight difference. What is the difference? That is current account. Current account fiscal deficit, slight difference is there.
Current account deficit is related to external sector.
That is correct. Then fiscal deficit.
Fiscal deficit is the how much government is earning from revenue.
So that is a budget. Budget deficit, not fiscal deficit.
So budget deficit is when the government is taking loans to clear the fiscal deficit. Suppose India has a fiscal deficit of 4.9%. So the government has to borrow from the market and do external commercial borrowing to reduce.
Then you add to that external borrowing actually, the borrowing loan amount.
Yeah, loan. If once fiscal deficit is not balanced, but budget deficit has to be zero. Budget has to be balanced. That balancing is done by borrowing by the government.
Who certifies that a bill is a money bill?
The Speaker of the Lok Sabha.
Acha. Recently, the Supreme Court is hearing the case regarding Aadhaar bill.
Correct.
So, whether it is justified in the part of the government to declare Aadhaar as money bill.
So, if the case is sub judice, Supreme Court is going to see if Aadhaar has any component which is related to the money bill as defined in Article 110. But in my view, as Speaker must have taken some logic and certified it as money bill, but Supreme Court will verify if the logic is correct or not.
ठीक है,
Okay. All the best wishes.
Thank you, sir.